Okay, today we are doing a oil change on a Honda EU2000I portable generator. Now first we'll unscrew the access cover. It's just a flat blade screwdriver. Then we'll open up the oil cap here. It's just on the left hand side of the machine. Now, that oil that was in there, it was fairly dirty. It had been in there for about 100 hours or so, so it was time for a change on there. Now I made this little deal out of a piece of 1-inch PVC pipe. It just slides up and over the oil filler cap like that. Now it saves a lot of the mess and everything that you make without that, otherwise it just drains all over itself. So we'll drain this oil into the pail here. It holds, I think, about 350 milliliters or so. It's not a whole lot. I can't remember the exact amount, but it doesn't hold very much oil. So we'll just let this all drain out like this. It drains. You just tilt it back a bit and tilt it forward, and it drains out. That little tube, that saves a whole lot of mess. That does. Without that, it just drains all over itself, and it runs all down all over the place. So it makes quite a mess if you don't use that little tube. Now that tube, you want to make sure you only cut it about halfway up around the circumference of it there. So if you cut it any more than that, it won't stay on there. It needs a bit of friction fit on there. So you want to leave about you only want to go about halfway or a little less with it when you're cutting that slit into it. Now, yeah, that was pretty black, that oil. Now for the oil here, I'm using a 5W30 Quaker State, just regular oil. I use 530 on it in the wintertime. It seems to start a little easier if you're out in the cold with it. One of these days I'm gonna run synthetic in it, but not this oil change. I didn't have any. So just fill it up like this. Now I cut that back slit out a little farther so you have room to get in there and actually put the oil in it too, because you see when it's full it'll start running out there. Okay, here we are gonna add some oil to it. Using Quaker State 530. Now it's just about full here now. Oh, there we go, there it comes. So we'll just let that drain a little bit. Now while that's draining, we might as well check the air filter here. It gets dirty from the odd time, you know. It's got a pre-filter, and then it's got your main foam filter. And the pre-filter's at the bottom here, just right down at the below your main filter. Captures all your bigger particles and stuff. It doesn't look too dirty here. I haven't had to clean the filter on here yet. I've got a fair bit of hours on that machine. There's probably about 600 or 700 hours on it, but it's not operated in overly dusty conditions. I mean, I guess if you were using it in the dust and stuff, it'd be different. But now this one doesn't get operated in overly dusty conditions. So that pre-filter, it's okay. Now there's our foam filter, our main filter, and it's not overly dirty either. So just put the cover back on here. No sense in cleaning it here. And that cover, it's just screwed on with that flat blade screw on there too. So easy access on this machine, which is kind of nice. Okay, so we got the oil cap back on. It's all filled up with oil and ready to go again. I got it cleaned up here. So now we'll just find a place to put our I keep the that oil spout that I made. I keep that in the machine here, just that way there's less of a chance of it getting lost. So we'll clean the spout up here and everything, get all the used oil off of it. You don't want it making a mess in the bottom there. And then usually what I do is I wrap it with a paper towel. So we'll just wrap it up with a paper towel and stick it back in beside the oil fill here. Fits nice and snug in there. Then we'll put the cover back on. It's just a flat blade screwdriver again to install that. Got that big flat screw nut thing on there, and screw that back into place, and everything's secure. Fire it up, and there we go, just like that. And that's our oil change on the generator. Just doesn't take too long. I mean, about 10 minutes or so. You can have all that dirty black oil drained out of there and put some fresh oil in. So yeah, it's not a big job doing it on here. They make it fairly simple, but makes it a lot easier if you have that. If you've got that little spout that you saw there, that little piece of white 1-inch PVC tubing. And I'll just drain that used oil back into my used oil buckets there, and good for the next time. Alright, thanks for watching.